Barret. Shadow Recon, Book 4. Written by Dale Meyer. Narrated by Tristan Wright. Prologue. At dinner time, Barret Dillinger walked into the dining area of the Arctic military base and stopped, surveying his surroundings. He understood from Mason some of what had just gone down. Sure enough, off in a corner, he saw 4 heads, 2 males and 2 females, huddled together at a table. Smiling, Barret walked over and sat down beside them, without any warning. Immediately, the nearest woman stiffened, but he gave her a reassuring smile. "The name is Barret," he greeted her gently, then turned and looked at the men. Magnus smiled at him. "You're here to help, aren't you?" "If that's what you call it," he replied with a casual glance around. "Not that anybody is supposed to know that," he added with a warning. Magnus nodded. "However, you'll find out very quickly that nothing stays quiet in this scenario." "Of course not." Barret looked back at the women. "Which one of you is Barry?" Immediately, the smaller of the 2 held up her hand.
"I'm Barry. This is Sydney. She's the doctor here."
"Honored," he said, "to meet you both." He looked around and added, "Sounds as if you guys have been having fun. You should share all those good times."
"Now you can take over. I've had all the fun I want," Barry declared with a shudder. "Personally, I'm okay to just have some peace and quiet for a while."
"And yet you're staying." Barret frowned, his gaze intent as he studied her. She took a deep breath.
"Yes, I am."
He nodded, not arguing with her at all. People had all kinds of reasons for staying after trying times such as this, and maybe she was in the right of it after all. As another woman walked in and headed to the table, the women grew nervous, her steps choppy. She looked over at Magnus.
"May I speak to you for a minute?"
Magnus immediately stood. "Of course." She pointed him toward the hallway. At that, Barret joined him. "I'll come too, if that's okay." She hesitated and frowned.
"Sorry, but you're new."
"I am indeed," he confirmed. "Therefore I'm not connected to anything already going on." He watched as that worked its way through her thoughts, then she ignored him.
"Fine, as long as he says it's okay."
She pointed to Magnus, who nodded. "It's fine," Magnus murmured. "What's going on?" She shook her head.
"I haven't been able to find Scott anywhere."
Magnus stared at her. "Scott, as in kitchen assistant Scott?" She nodded.
"We're both new here, having come in a few days ago as replacements. Scott was here to help Chef, and I'm mostly doing reports and supplies for the compound. The base isn't very welcoming, so Scott and I just stuck together. Scott wasn't expecting this weather or the isolation. It's really bothering him, so I check in on him throughout the day,"
she shared with a side glance at Barret.
"I step into the kitchen sometimes to give him a hand, but when I went there a couple times already today, I saw no sign of him. Now I just talked to Chef, and he hasn't seen Scott all day."
"All day?" Magnus repeated. She nodded.
"Chef told me Scott wasn't feeling well and went to lie down. I talked to him this morning, and he said he just needed some fresh air. This place, the isolation, being stuck inside, he found it very claustrophobic."
"Ah, shit," Magnus said as he turned toward Barret. "Nothing like jumping into the deep end." "I'm all for it," Barret replied, still studying the woman. "What's your name?"
"Avalon Pritchard," she said with a smile. "Please help Scott. He's a nice guy, and honestly, he's not like a lot of the men here."
"When you say that, what do you mean?" Magnus asked. She shrugged.
"He's definitely not the alpha type. He's quiet, studious, shy, and a really nice guy. I'd hate for something bad to happen to him. Since arriving, we've heard all kinds of horror stories. With all the shit that's been going on around this place," she explained. "When somebody goes missing—"
"If anybody goes missing," Barret corrected her immediately, then turned to look at Magnus. "I suggest we do a full-scale internal search and then head outside." "Yeah, already on it," Magnus noted, holding up his phone. "We'll set up the sirens and send out a full search party." Magnus added for Avalon's benefit.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?